And welcome to Hannity, and happy early Thanksgiving to everyone. So much to be grateful for to all of you across the country. Maybe even Alec Baldwin, who is once again in a very dark place, along with Sharon Stone. Now, even though his manslaughter case was dismissed, he's still deeply ungrateful and is now trashing the American people, calling you uninformed. We'll tell you what his comments are. We'll tell you what Sharon Stone's comments are. But first, after 4 long, miserable years under Biden and Harris, American optimism is now back in a big way. Look at this. According to a new CBS poll, most Americans now believe our best days are ahead of us. And frankly, they are. Nearly 60% approve of Donald Trump and his presidential transition. This after an election where voters of nearly every age, race, they made the shift to Donald Trump. Voters want Trump to fix what the Democrats have broken. And tonight, big progress already underway. After Donald Trump threatened to impose heavy tariffs on both Mexico and Canada over illegal immigration, well, Mexico's president just announced that migrant caravans will no longer be permitted to reach the U.S. border. Wow. While also trying to save face by promising to retaliate with a trade war. My advice, unsolicited, to the president of Mexico, be careful what you wish for, because you're going to lose badly. Meanwhile, Canada's far-left prime minister, we like to refer to him as little Justin Trudeau. He appears to be in a state of panic and is now promising to do whatever it takes to maintain a good relationship with the U.S. Take a look.
I had a good call with Donald Trump last night again. We obviously talked about laying out the facts, talking about how the intense and effective connections between our two countries flow back and forth. We talked about some of the challenges that we can work on together. It was a good call. This is something that we can do, laying out the facts, moving forward in constructive ways. This is a relationship that we know takes a certain amount of working on, and that's what we'll do.
Well, we have a new sheriff in town. That means it is time for our allies, our friends, to act like allies and friends. Securing our border is infinitely more difficult when Canada and Mexico refuse to secure their own borders and uphold their own immigration laws. Now, the same goes for our own cities, our own states. Last night, right here on this program, Donald Trump's incoming border czar, Tom Homan, laid out a very clear warning to any mayor or governor who will obstruct federal deportation and, well, not abide by federal law. Take a look.
Me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute, it's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III, and what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives.
The madness, the suffering will soon be over. So this year, Americans, as we head into Thanksgiving, well, you can be grateful and thankful that our country's illegal immigration crisis, that allows terrorists and murderers and rapists and cartels and gang members, all caused by Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, is about to come to an end. I'm grateful for one. And as for the flow of deadly fentanyl into the country, Donald Trump is vowing to cut it off right at the source. That means China. The president-elect now threatening to levy even more tariffs against China if the communist regime does not stop producing and shipping the fentanyl to Mexico and other places into North America. At the same time, Donald Trump is also promising to tackle rising prices right here at home. As all of you know, the primary driver of inflation has been government spending. Biden's lavish expenditures over the past 4 years, it has destroyed household wealth, making almost everything unaffordable. You pay more for everything you buy in every store you go to. For example, the total cost of a Thanksgiving dinner is now up nearly 20% over 2019. From housing to food to transportation, the cost of everything has got to come down. Thankfully, Donald Trump is planning to make America more affordable again through several key measures. That includes cost-cutting efforts recommended by the new Department of Government Accountability. Also, Americans will have more money in their pockets. No tax on tips. Brilliant idea. No tax on overtime. Another great idea. That helps hardworking Americans. In other words, the people that make our country great, the really great people in our country that work hard, play by the rules, pay their taxes, obey the laws, raise their kids, and are struggling, they're going to save more of their hard-earned money. Also, watch the price at the pump sink as Donald Trump will ramp up energy production in short order. Donald Trump is planning to reduce regulations across the board, but especially when it comes to energy. Now, I know you have the far-left climate cult. Well, they will no longer have a seat at the table. Bye-bye. Truth is making a comeback. Common sense is making a comeback. Government tithing will not make their planet healthier. Windmills don't reduce pollution. Paper straws, I hate them. They do nothing to save planet Earth. Nuclear energy, it is clean, it is effective. Natural gas, it is clean, it is abundant. There is nothing wrong with your gas stove, and you should be able to buy the car of your choice, eat the food that you like, have the refrigerator, air conditioner, washer, and dryers that you want, and live your life without compromise. That's called freedom. The way forward is through free will, individualism, not government regulation, mandates, higher taxes, and government control. That's why the president-elect is also now planning to end several of Biden's multi-billion-dollar vote-buying schemes on day one. That includes his unconstitutional student debt relief program. Now, of course, all these common-sense measures, they will be met with breathless hysteria by so many. The legacy media mob, by Democrats on the left. You know, one New York state senator now considering a radical plan, calling for her state, along with Connecticut and Vermont and other states, to secede from the U.S. and join Canada. I'd like to stay the United States of America, but if they feel that strongly about it, I won't get in their way. Now, sadly, Trump derangement syndrome is still very real, and there is no doubt that America faces big challenges in the coming years, but we have been through worse. We've been through a civil war. We've been through 2 world wars, the rise of Nazism, fascism, communism, not the way liberals talk about it. The U.S. won a decades-long Cold War, and we never had to fire a shot. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. The American people have created almost every major advancement in the modern world because of something called capitalism, the greatest wealth-producing system ever designed by man. We can fix inflation. We can bring back law and order and safety and security. We can fix the border, and our morally corrupt federal bureaucracy can be dismantled. All Americans can dream big again, thanks to all of you. You all showed up. You all voted. This Thanksgiving, I'm grateful for all of you. We now have a fighting chance to rescue this great country, secure the future for generations to come. Maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.